I'm starting, Mom. Okay.
All right, hello everybody. That was a little bit of All India radio. Super trippy, chill out kind of stuff to get your Friday evening going. I know y'all probably have a lot of fun stuff planned for this evening, so I'm going to start off by telling you from around the world. No, just kidding. But so like I said, my name's Kaya Kramer. This is LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussion, interviews. Yes, interviews. I also want to let you know that this show is airing live over the interwebs. Well, this is live radio right now, but this is live over the interwebs. And what we have for you here is, if you go to thequeerlife.org, we have a video stream. Yes, a video stream inside the studio. So you can actually check that out. We're also on Facebook, facebook.com/thequeerlife. You can tweet us any questions you want at thequeerlife. Also, feel free to check out the YouTube channel, youtube.com/user/thequeerlife. And so we're all up on there too. Again, we are a part of KBBF. This KBBF 89.1 Calistoga, but we're actually also tomorrow night at 6 p.m. we have another monthly dance party, food and beer and more food and dancing and music, and it's all down here at 1700 Corby Avenue at the Carpenters Labor Center Union Place, and it's always a great time. I'll be out there, I'll be electronic music and stuff going on there, so check that out too. But I just want hello everybody. There we go.
That's a new show.
Yeah, Queer Tech. Yeah, there we go. Anybody who wants to support Queer Tech can go to my donation page. No, just kidding. All right, so let's get under. Mandy, our senior news correspondent, who's the world
for me.
It's called Delaware are trans.
They may be.
And
yeah,
and what would you say to them?
What would I say to them?
Yeah.
About being a man in a women's restroom?
Yeah.
I'm not a man. I have, I was assigned male at birth. I have, as far as I know, genetically male, but my mind, my brain, my soul is feminine, is female. So, and in fact, I'm probably much more feminine than most of the girls that I run into.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
But, so basically where people do their business is none of your business so long as they're doing business.
Yeah, so long as they're in there and they're doing what everyone else is doing. They're not in there leering at anybody or, asking weird questions.
Yeah, and for the most part, most trans people, ourselves included, but other people we know, it's your main MO is get in and wait. I mean, one thing I've noticed, going into the ladies' restroom or the ladies' locker room is, and being, like you said, being socialized male, it's ladies talk in the bathroom, about what on and stuff, and it's.
I've had a girl come up to me in the women's restroom and put her arm on my shoulder and told me how proud she was of me and walked away.
Yeah.
Oh, and I've had a few girls try to give me makeup tips in the restroom, while I'm looking in the mirror, And this isn't a super common thing where you're being approached all the time, but it does happen. Whereas in the male restroom, it never happens.
No, it's like there's even like the urinal.
You gotta if there's people standing at a urinal and there's no open urinals, meaning you have to stand in between two people. There's no open urinals.
Yes.
You can't stand in between two people. You have to wait.
Yeah. So it's this is all like kind of new territory.
Yeah.
For a lot of trans women, and so.
So if there are any trans men nearby, they should pay attention to our rules.
Yeah. So hint, hint. Anyhow, it's funny. We could talk for like 2 hours.
Yeah, about one thing.
One thing, there. All right, etiquette. Okay,
Etiquette.
So, question 2 of inappropriate questions. So, when is the surgery?
Which surgery are you talking about?
If you're listening to the radio,
are you miming
like
like that? Assume that when people ask when is your surgery, they're not talking about breast implant or your knee surgery. They're
All right, everybody, that was a little bit more All India Radio Evening Star. Yes, I am a little obsessed with All India Radio. Very, very chill, very awesomeness. All right, so we were talking about top 10 questions not to ask a trans person, and Lexi, Miss Adsit, she has made it. She from the bowels of the deep Bay Area, and she's here sitting in the studio with us. We're so freaking pleased to have her here with us. Let's is your microphone on?
Let's find out. Maybe. Hello.
All right. And can't quite talk in there again for me.
Hi. Hello.
Lexi. Yeah, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, and so let's have Lexi, let's have you join in on this conversation here. So,
Howdy.
all right, hey, say hey again.
Hi. Oh, there I am.
There we go.
Perfect.
Awesome, good stuff there. So I'm gonna introduce Lexi again. Were you listening on the way up
I
here?
I was
Awesome,
quite
yeah.
entertained.
Yeah. So again, Lexi Adsit, trans advocate, trans woman of color, and I quote, a fierce, fat, femme, trans Latina who was born and raised in the East Bay. Lexi graduated from San Francisco State University with a bachelor's in women and gender studies. In 2013, she also founded the Queer Yo Mind Conference, which works to bridge the gaps between community activism and academia. She was a founding committee member of the International Trans Women of Color Network Gathering, worked to bring trans women of color from all parts of the globe together. Lexi is currently working at Asian Pacific Islander Wellness Center as an health promotional specialist, assisting trans women of color navigate social services within San Francisco. And Lexi, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. So, since we're having a little technical difficulty, you might have to share a mic.
We'll see. I think it's fine.
Oh, wait, there we go. Wow,
Yeah.
okay. Wonder what it was. Sorry. I went to film school, so, like, all this sound stuff is, like, kind of beyond me a little bit.
The sound school is a different school.
Yeah, sound school's a different school. Anyway, though, so let's finish. I want you to jump in. I want to hear your voice, and
please,
then
yeah.
and then I'm gonna dive in, and then I'm gonna dissect your life and your work, and
Sounds good.
just display you out in front of 5 million people.
Cool.
Yeah,
Great.
Do you want to start where we left off or at the beginning?
Let's start where we left off here.
Okay.
So these are top 10 questions not to ask a trans person. I'm pretty sure every trans person has heard these about bajillion times. We were talking about the previous question is, so when is the surgery?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So when is it?
Yeah, when's the surgery?
Well, funny story is I'm actually scheduled for surgery next summer, which is very exciting for me.
Very great.
But yeah, before I never knew what to say. I was like, well, I'm getting my wisdom teeth pulled out in a few months, but
Maybe that's what they're talking about.
I think it's a procedure, so I always figured that's what everybody was asking and talking about.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just had surgery too, they went in and they took out two
By the way, Kaya, 129 days.
129 days.
129
Wow.
days.
Wow. Whoa. We need to have like a clicker tick down on the queer life.
On the queer life?
Yeah.
That's the date of my surgery.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, so exciting.
Yeah, it's a little
129 days.
little nip tuck. No.
Nip tuck. Actually, that pretty much describes what it is. It's kind of a nip tuck.
There you go. Sorry, I'm a huge Charlie Murphy fan.
I was gonna say that nobody can be more inappropriate about these topics than trans women.
Pretty much. I think we've earned the right to be inappropriate.
Yeah, I agree.
So for all the cis people out there, don't copy our example.
Exactly, yeah.
No.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Exactly.
Everybody's like, wow, this is the reason why.
It's like if you're not a sheep herder, you can't call somebody a sheep herder.
Yeah,
It's
scruffy looking.
a scruffy looking sheep herder.
Yeah.
Nerf herders
Yeah,
also.
nerf herders. Yeah, don't forget. So, question 3.
Yeah.
Are you sure? I love hearing the laughter and here in the studio. There's such joy here at KBBF. You can come join our studio audience, 1700 Corby Avenue, Suite 2, and
we bring joy every day.
Every day,
Every day.
we bring joy.
Even the days we're not here.
Especially the days. we're not here.
Actually, those days tend to be the most joyous. I hear.
This is true. This is true. If you're enjoying us, you can give us a call 707-545-0318, or you can tweet us at The Queer Life. You can also watch this stream online live, thequeerlife.org. We stream via YouTube, although we're doing a slightly new system today, so this may or may not be the worst digitally streamed episode. I'm sorry, Lexi. No.
Don't trip. I'm, This is all new to me as well.
Computers are a very interesting thing that I spend way too much time with. Anyway, I need a boyfriend.
Well, digital boyfriend. You know.
Yeah. But okay, so question 3.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure you aren't just gay?
You know, I think I am, but I'm also trans.
Wait,
I'm just everything, right? And actually, I've found a lot of my friends that, like, when after you transition, you become gayer.
Gayer.
Yes. Gayer.
Is
Now, hold on, Lexi. Do you like women?
You know, I do like women.
You do like women. Do you like men?
I do like men.
So you're bisexual
Yes.
or pansexual?
Yes, but I also like cats and dogs, not in the dating way, but I like to cuddle them.
We're having technical difficulties.
yes.
Just what you followed, what followed, you know, what was before that is really bad.
But you know that's a question a lot of cis people ask. Is like, are you sure you aren't just gay?
Well, what they're asking you is not whether or not you're trans and also gay.
Mm-hmm.
What they're asking you is why are you sure you're not just gay? Meaning, wouldn't you be happier just being a man and dating men? You know, why become a woman? Just, you know, be gay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a valid cis person question.
Exactly.
You know? But
I've been asked this question many times.
Why can't you just you know, be a gay man? You know, a gay fish. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, because in today's world, being gay is preferable to being trans, which goes to show you that being trans is still something that people either don't want you to be or don't believe you can be.
Well, you know, that's kind of a problem, isn't it, Mandy?
It's a big problem.
Because there's a lot of young kids out there, you know, assigned male or female at birth who may feel one way or the other, and they're not getting, you know, basically if society tells you, it's like, you are absolutely at the bottom of what you can present yourself as. Like if you feel like a trans person, that is like the worst you can go.
Well, actually, I would say we're above gay fish.
We're above gay fish.
Above gay fish.
So
which means we're better than Kanye.
We're better than Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can I still be the voice of a generation?
Yeah. Well, if you want to.
Okay.
If Lexi lets you.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
We'll have to see how it goes.
I'll have to earn it during this interview here. We'll see.
Uh-huh.
All right. So I mean the question is inherently wrong in and of itself, as if there's something wrong with being trans. And do you feel like there's something wrong with being trans?
No, I actually think you know, it's a lot more fabulous than living as cisgender.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Wait.
a lot more fun.
And a lot of people don't understand that even gay people are cis.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. They're sissies.
Yes, a bunch of sissies, you know. As you know, pretty soon we're gonna have to have a separate bathroom for all of you
for all of the
sissies out there.
sissy bathroom. Mm-hmm.
For those of you that don't know what we're referencing, we are referencing the newest South Park episode. It's about transgender. For a lot of you trans people out there who watched it and hated it, you'll look a little bit closer. They actually researched their stuff.
It's actually quite informative.
Yeah, pretty well. I never thought that I'd hear Cartman talk about gender identity and sexual orientation.
That they're different.
Yeah, that they're different.
Yeah.
And
they use the term cisgender, and
yeah.
I mean, yeah, they got everything in there.
Yeah, so educate yourself. Watch some South Park. No. But I'm sure we're gonna like lose a whole bunch of trans listeners. I know we've actually had some conversation with some trans people who thought it was disgusting, the whole Mrs. Garrison and.
But you know what though, these are the same trans people who before this episode probably loved the show.
Right.
And
right.
so it's always funny when they're making fun of people that you don't relate to, but when they start making fun of something or supposedly making fun of something that is closer to your heart, then it's harder to watch. And I understand that, but at the same time, it's very hypocritical.
Yeah, well, gosh, we could like talk about each one of these little questions for like hours here.
This whole show can be 10 things. The 10 things.
You know, the KBBF can become the Queer Life FBBF. I'm not suggesting that. I love all the other programming here. And my Spanish isn't very good because this is a bilingual radio station. How's your Spanish?
You know, not un poquito. That's all I got.
Oh my god.
That's all I got.
All right, so I'm going to ask you another inappropriate question here.
Uh-oh.
All right.
And again, everything. I forgot to put this disclaimer at the beginning of the show. I always forget to say what my name is. I always forget the disclaimer. Everything you hear here. I have to figure out a different way to say it. Here. Is of our own perspective. That's why the show is called LGBT Perspectives. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a mental health professional. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not your mom. I'm not your friend. No, I'm just
Although you know, I could be your parent. So.
You know, that's possible. You know, being time presenting male was had different effects on all of us.
You know, we had crazy days, and
there might be little Mandys running around.
No, don't say that. I don't need an 18-year-old kid knocking on my door one day.
Oh, God.
I'm looking for my dad.
Oh, that's so horrible. That's so horrible.
It's a trans nightmare. Trans nightmare on KBBF Street. I don't know where I'm going with this. Anyway, inappropriate question number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a penis?
Yes. Next question.
Why is this an inappropriate question to ask?
Well, it actually falls under the same idea of whether or not asking somebody if they've had surgery yet. I mean, it's asking about your genitalia, and that's none of their business unless, they plan on going to bed with you.
Oh, okay. So,
Yeah, I could see that as like a really good reason as having that conversation before because, I want whoever I'm going to bed with to do well.
don't we all?
Right?
But would you say it's inappropriate for somebody on the street to ask you that?
Yeah.
Or somebody you just met, or or even a coworker?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times have you been asked that question, or similar? If you had to guess.
I'll just go with a lot.
Exactly. I wasn't looking for an exact number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I swear, I never talked about, have been asked about my genitals so much as since I came out as trans.
I've never been asked about my genitals before I came out as trans, unless it was by the doctor and I was there for a specific reason.
Yeah. Okay, so next inappropriate question. Can I see pictures of you before you transitioned?
No.
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 But why? I want to see. I want to see what you looked like.
Well, a lot of trans women are uncomfortable even looking at their own pictures from before their transitions.
Mm-hmm.
For those who are okay with it, they may share them with other trans individuals or super close friends. And of course, your family members obviously already knew what you look like, so you may share those pictures, just to reminisce a little bit. But asking somebody, to see a picture of what they look like before they transitioned is kind of like asking somebody to see a picture of the worst days of their lives, of the worst moments of their lives. It's like...
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
And it brings up the question, every trans documentary we see, every trans music video, there's always that obligatory scene with them, doing,
Putting on makeup,
and
yeah.
then, the lipstick drags across their face. Have you read The Whipping Girl?
Yes, I have.
We all love here at KBBF. We love The Whipping Girl.
The Whipping Girl.
Oh my god, I love it. I know, it's such a groundbreaking book.
Written, of course, by Will Wheaton.
Will.
Now it's written by Julia Serrano. It's a great
Julia
book.
Serrano.
Serrano.
Wait, actually, there isn't any.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my! If anybody, I hope somebody out there is getting these references. Otherwise, we're just these are not inside jokes. These are references to pop culture out there, everybody.
They are.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyhow, clearly Lexi is getting it. She's getting a mad queer life props.
That means
Thank
she's
you.
an amazing person.
Yeah. So I'm gonna reward you by asking you another inappropriate question.
Okay, let's go.
So what's your real name?
Wait, where did some dude just walk into the studio?
No. Just what's your real name? I know,
Oh my god. It's like asking a superhero for their quote unquote citizen identity. You know what I mean?
Secret identity, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
never, you don't ask Neo,
If I actually tell you my house is gonna get stormed
Well-
and they're gonna take my family away, so I can't tell anybody.
take your family away, Taken style, Liam Neeson's gonna come to the rescue, or
Until I think of a better example, yes.
okay.
Actually, the example you mentioned very shortly about Neo from The Matrix, right, is actually, I think it's actually an appropriate example because, in The Matrix, he's Mr. Anderson, right?
Yeah.
Right? So this is the name that he was given without his consent, and it's how he identified himself, but he always...
His slave name.
His slave name. But
Slave to the robots.
Yeah, but he always felt different, right? He felt like he didn't belong, which is very similar to the trans experience.
I was just
Right.
throwing something out of, pulling something out of a hat there, but you kind of just exploded on that idea right there.
Well, I watch The Matrix way too much, and I love philosophy, so...
Yeah.
But, expanding upon that a little more, basically, when he exits The Matrix, in other words, when he transitions from one way of being to another, he finds out, or he discovers his true name, which is one he had already picked for himself in his previous life, which is also true for most of us. It's a name we probably heard or picked early on. And then he takes on that persona, and he realizes that is him. That's the real him. Neo is the real him. Mr. Anderson is the false. It's the, the fallacious nature.
All right, so that's some pretty rad Neo Matrix philosophy connecting to the trans world, and it also has some couple other parallels too. I'd love to keep talking about it, but we have some words from our sponsors that we got to play for you right here. So here's a little more All India and DJ Broken Records, like it sounds like The Cure. Thanks for tweeting us, DJ Broken Record, whose show is every Monday night 9 to 11. Shameless promotion.
Estás escuchando KBBF 89.1, Calistoga, Santa Rosa y Gran Parque, California.
You're listening to KBBF 89.1 FM, Calistoga, Santa, the voice of your community.
The following message is about Medicaid and CHIP, free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. Enrollment is open year-round.
Hey, voice lady, give me the mic.
Okay.
Hey, DJ, let's switch up the music. That's better. So listen up, moms and dads out there. There are these programs called Medicaid and CHIP. They offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids. Things like doctor and dentist visits, prescriptions, and shots are covered. All the stuff that keeps kids like me healthy and in charge.
So, as you can tell, a covered kid is a confident kid. And it means confident parents, too. To learn more about affordable health coverage for your family, visit healthcare.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. That's 1-877-543-7669.
Yup, you could do something big for your family today because enrollment is open year-round.
This has been a message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And Sophia.
Does anybody know what time it is? Yes, it's the time to be happy.
Mi nombre es Samuel y yo soy el futuro y me gusta escuchar KBBF para estar bien preparado.
And we'll have a little heaven right here.
All right, hello everybody. You are listening to The Queer Life on KBBF 89.1 LGBT news, modern perspectives, round table discussion, and interviews. In fact, we are in the middle of an interview right now with Lexi Adsit, trans woman of color activist, local Bay Arean. It's kind of like a librarian, but a Bay Arean. Not an Aryan, but...
I knew she had secrets.
Yes. And so we're going through top 10 questions of very inappropriate things to ask trans people. Last question was, what's your real name? And we kind of went on like a little Matrix kick there for a second.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's it's quite all right. But there's a ton of stuff we can talk about here. And like I said, we can talk about each one of these little subjects for at least an hour or two.
I would just like to point out real quick about The Matrix that you were like 10 when it came out.
You know what? I love The Matrix.
Little baby. Little nugget.
And just because I was a nugget at the time doesn't mean that I didn't enjoy it as much or as intellectually as everybody else. But anyhow, so let's just dive into the interview here. I want to give you plenty of time because I want to tear you apart here.
Oh, okay, cool.
You know, this is gonna be like Fox News. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, should we turn off the lights for this?
Yeah, I know.
Dun, dun, dun.
You know, we've already been asking inappropriate questions.
I know.
So I remember the first time that you came into my existence, actually. And I actually want to apologize. So this is actually the first time that we're meeting in person.
I know, it's really, it's intense because we haven't met in person and you started off asking me, inappropriate questions and now she's going to tear me apart.
Yeah, I'm not a very good human being, you know.
This is not a good first date.
No.
A little bit about being trans, about her life, and she's been touring, I think, the world at this point, just talking about, trans issues.
So I got invited to this event to cover it as the media, because we are a form of the media, although we are a very rainbow-clad form of the media. But I went to this event, and there was a panel of speakers at the end, and I was madly writing down notes and recording audio and everything. And I'm so sorry. I wrote up the article and I didn't make notes on Lexi's name. I was like interviewer number 4 or something like that. Yes. And then I get a very gentle message on Facebook because the trans community is quite small. Yes. It's like, actually, I happen to be question number 4. If you could please fix that, I would be so grateful. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
Did you say I happen to be question number 4?
Anyway, so I apologize in person now. I'm making it up to you.
I appreciate it. Yes, I'm so glad I got on this radio show, so you could apologize to me.
Exactly. You know, please don't go to the queerlife.org where it's episode 16 interview with interviewer number 4. No, I got it right this time.
I'll have to change my name to that legally. Interviewer number 4.
Yeah. What's your real name? So she was fabulous. You can actually check out the article on thequeerlife.org. It's still up there with the corrections. And there's some pictures. I think she is in the kind of the group interview questions there, and she performed fabulously. I was so thrilled that I had to become friends with her on Facebook, which is the coolest thing in the world for me. Yes, I am under 30. But so Lexi.
What's that?
So can you tell me about how you got into the speaking at this Janet Amok event? Because she's like kind of a big deal.
I know.
She's a rock star.
She is.
Which kind of makes you a rock star now.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So the story behind it is, I guess I'll say I got discovered by one of my coworkers.
Was it Bieber? No.
No. But I work at API Wellness Center, and one of the programs she and I have been connected for numerous years, and she's been aware of my work at San Francisco State and in the trans community, and so she invited me to be a part of the panel, and she was organizing it. She invited, the other speakers. And I was very, very honored to be included in that group.
Seriously, like that's huge. So, I quoted her as wrong in there, and I'm sorry. I keep going. but so this. And you were talking about API. What is API?
So API stands for Asian and Pacific Islander, and so it's Asian and Pacific Islander Wellness Center. We're located at 730 Polk Street in San Francisco on the 4th floor. We run a handful of different services. We have somewhat famous drop-in space that has previously been used for our transgender programs. So it's a program that started, I think it's been around for about 15 years, and it's an only transgender space, and that's a pretty huge deal in San Francisco, which I don't know if that's surprising or not, but it's
only transgender space.
Only transgender
whoa,
space.
Whoa, 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 whoa. So it's not LGBTQIA?
No.
Wow.
No, it's transgender only.
What about allies?
No allies.
Wow.
No
Okay.
ally. I know, right?
So no sissies allowed.
No sissies allowed.
Yeah.
Unless you're, a trans sissy.
Yeah.
Does that work? I don't know if that works.
SISSY, not CIS. Not NCIS. I'm getting confused now. There's too many acronyms. Yeah.
Yeah, and we also have this really great history of having transgender staff. And using it as a pipeline for empowering trans folks in their jobs, and all that jazz. It's a really exciting place to be.
Wow, that's incredible. That's something like this exists.
Yeah.
So can you give us a few more examples of what this organization is doing for trans people?
Mm-hmm. So we also offer free rapid HIV testing. I think it's Tuesday through Saturday in the afternoon. Some days go as late as 7, most days end at 5. And if you're transgender identified and HIV negative, you can actually earn a $20 Visa gift card.
Wait, what am I doing?
So you're getting paid to just literally give a drop of blood and find out your HIV status.
Mandy?
Do we need lunch money?
We're making a trip to Frisco. That's incredible. So this encourages trans people. I was about to say young trans people, but this can.
And we're funded by the organization's called HRSA. I believe it's the Human Resources and Services Agency. And so it's really groundbreaking work because this population has, some of the highest rates of HIV, homelessness, drug use, being involved in sex work, experiencing violence, and we are providing services to them. And we're eventually hoping that this model gets, disseminated across the U.S. to various health sites, so we can improve the welfare of trans women of color everywhere.
Wow. Well, and this is through API, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we, if you're HIV positive, a trans woman of color, you can come in, ask for Lexi, and I can,
hook it up. Yeah. So y'all are doing the HIV prevention work. You're doing the HIV help work for those that have it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I done learned myself some things. Mandy and I we done learned ourselves some things on this show.
Sweet.
Bridge HIV came on about a month ago or something like that. And Dr. Alu and Garza. Are you familiar with Bridge HIV?
I am. Funny story. I used to work at the Department of Public Health.
You're kidding.
I know. And I was indirectly involved with Bridge HIV, but I am familiar with the staff there.
Oh, nice.
So yes, I do recognize those names. They're really great folks.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh. So PrEP. You know about PrEP and all that stuff. You probably know more than I do. But I just wanted to throw it out there because I'm like, oh yes. So, are you utilizing PrEP? You know what I'm saying? I'm like a parrot. I just regurgitate whatever I hear.
I feel it. Yeah, I'm aware of PrEP. That's something that we do refer clients to. We don't. Right now, we currently don't supply PrEP at API, but we do refer folks to partner organizations where they can access PrEP, because PrEP is, I think, helpful. There are a lot of controversial opinions floating out there about it, though.
Right. Not like it shouldn't be used as a sort of carte blanche to do whatever you want. But. Well, okay. So, wow, this I can't believe these organizations. It's just being a young trans person, you come out or just growing up, you don't hear anything about trans stuff, and then, or even that other trans people exist. I'm the only one. It's like
I know. I thought I was so special for so long.
Yeah. Well, you are not a special snowflake. So But this is only like one piece of the activism work that you're doing.
Yes,
like you are a mover and shaker, lady.
Thank you.
Like I am just like in awe of how much you give yourself to the trans community. I mean, this is not just like LGBT. It's like you're laughing, you know.
I've always been very busy, and as I've grown, especially into my womanhood, my work has changed drastically, and so it's very much so focused on trans women of color, but yeah.
I'm trans woman of color. We often ask people, our guests on the show, to define some of these terms for our listeners. Could you define what trans woman or trans women of color is? What that means?
Yeah, sure. So trans. I guess we'll take it one word at a time.
Go right ahead, please do.
So trans is when, you're assigned a sex at birth, and then, as you're growing up, or even, at a young age, you don't identify with the gender you were assigned. And so then you begin to identify as something else, and you, hopefully explode in fabulousness. And transgender women specifically, were, assigned male at birth and now either identify as female or a common phrase I'm hearing is trans feminine.
Trans feminine, you're gonna have to define that too.
Oh God. Oh Jesus, I have to go back to school. Trans feminine, so I guess on like the gender spectrum, you can have like masculine or feminine. There are, God, everybody who's feminine is feminine. I don't know where to go with this. So we're just gonna go back to trans women of color. So trans women assigned male at birth now identify as women, and who are not white, who either grew up or are living as people of color, Black, Latin, Asian, API, Native, all that jazz. And so it's an all-encompassing term of transgender women of color. Yeah, and it's a very specific community, and I always like to say that we are unique and very different from any other sort of identity or group out there.
Why do you think there's a need to define the term trans women of color?
I would say because I think trans women of color get erased in the other, maybe even larger and dominant subgroups. When we're talking about LGBT, that's a much larger group than it would just be queer people of color. I'm so distracted right now, sorry. But even when we're just talking about like the trans community, that's a very broad and large, group that we're going to be having a discussion about. And so I am very, adamant in trying to define trans women of color as separate and, talk about our unique needs as a community and as individuals.
Well, there you have it, trans women of color. Basically not white, trans women.
Yes.
Assigned male at birth, identifying as women. Do they have penises? No. That's the real... No.
No, right. Oh, God.
Sorry, and for a lot of people out there who are wondering, yes, we are allowed to say these things. You can Google it. There are a list of words you are allowed to say or not allowed to say, and I haven't said any of those yet. So you work with a lot of trans women of color.
I do. I work. We have about 40 clients within our program specifically that are trans women of color. We also have about 4 staff who are trans, who are primarily, I think 3 of 4 are trans women of color. And then through our other programs, we have a larger number of trans women of color. I don't know specifically, but it's probably between like 40 to 60, somewhere in that range.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of people out there, they probably like, wait, there are that many trans people?
Yes.
Okay, so we got a couple minutes here before we have to go to another word from our sponsors. It's not a commercial break. It's called a word from our sponsors.
Words from our sponsors.
Yes,
but it's not just one word.
It's not just one. It's many. When I became I'm like shifting gears here a little bit. So you've talked about the trans health services, the API, the Asian Pacific Islander organization, and so it's not just Asian Pacific Islanders, is it?
No, we serve people of pretty much every race. All our programs are open as far as race, other than my program where we only serve women of color. But all our other programs don't have that qualifier.
Okay. Yeah, I'd never heard of the term trans women of color until just within the last 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a fairly new term?
I don't know. I'll be real. I'm not sure. I know that the community has existed. I don't think we've used this term before. And I like to think I'm one of the reasons that we use it now. But I think there are other, and I could write a book on the history of like the community of trans women of color, because a lot of our history is so intertwined with drag history. And if you look at, our ancestors like Sylvia Rivera and Marsha P. Johnson, they at a time were identified as drag queens, but later in their life were beginning to identify as transgender. And so there's a lot there. So it's a modern term. Let's just say it with that. It's a modern term.
Well, that's just very appropriate because this show is Modern Perspectives. Hey. And with that, you've been listening to The Queer Life, KBBF 89.1. This is Lexi Adsit. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, it's actually not it's my Facebook middle name.
Oh, okay, that's your Facebook middle name. Okay, I love it though. It's fabulous.
Thank you.
This is The Queer Life, LGBT news, Modern Perspectives, round table discussion and interviews. You've been listening to a little bit of trans activism here in the works from a mover and shaker out there. We're going to take a little musical break here, play some words from our sponsors, and we will be right back.
You're so far away. You're so yesterday. And I know what it shows. So I try to forget and forgive and forget and forgive.
Enriquezca su acervo cultural. Escuche KBBF, la voz de la comunidad.
Hi, this is Adam Rodriguez. Did you know that today 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic? That means many of the future doctors, engineers, scientists, and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. Many support you, and the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. Learn more at hsf.net. Brought to you by the Hispanic Scholarship Fund and the Ad Council.
All right, hey y'all. So, oh wait, that's what DJ Broken Record says. So I'm gonna read you a little bit of promo here. I am so terrible about this exposition thing. So we've got our KBBF Harvest Celebration tomorrow, I think. Yes, tomorrow, November 15th. KBBF invites you to spend a delightful evening with us, enjoying music brought to you by KBBF's DJ Gabby Munoz from the program Entre Jóvenes, tasty food and drinks for all tastes, and drawings and more entertainment for the whole family. Don't forget the event, KBBF's Harvest Party, when it's tomorrow night. That's Saturday from 6 to 10 at night. Woo, we party. It's crazy. Yeah, come on down. We have a great time. Where it's the Carpenters Hall, 1700 Corby Avenue. That's in Santa Rosa. It's near the 7-Eleven. You know, it's like a block north of the DMV. I know everybody loves the DMV. No, I'm not trying to make a stab at the DMV. This is about the party. I'm sorry, I'm kind of ADD here. As always, tickets are within our family's budget. Individuals $10, couples $15, students $5, children under 12 free. Yes, children under 12 are free. Bring your children. Come on, children. So this is a fundraising event for KBBF. Help us keep the lights on. Please call 707-545-8833 for more information. We will see you there, or we will make you come there. No, I'm just kidding. We're not. You know, this isn't taken like with Liam Neeson. Anyway, though, I'm just gonna be quiet now and play the next thing.
Niños como yo escuchan KBBF 89.1 FM, la voz de tu comunidad, porque es divertida.
All right, hey y'all. This is Kaya. This is the Queer Life Radio Show, LGBT news, modern perspectives, roundtable discussion, and interviews. So when I say LGBT, I really mean LGBT. Oh, actually, I really mean LGBTQIA. Lexi, can you define all letters of that acronym, LGBTQIA?
Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, LGBTQ, queer, questioning, intersex, LGBTQIA. I'm always afraid to say outlier asexual.
Oh,
so I'm gonna give you two choices.
That's the hidden secret question at the end. Yes, it's allies and transsexual. We should say AA at the end. We keep trying to put N at the end though.
Wait, what's N?
N. N is nerd. We're trying to put nerd in there.
Good to know. I'll have to include that in my.
But anyhow,
next acronym.
Wow, we this show has already gone on an hour and a half, you know. So
time just flies by on the radio.
Oh my gosh, you know, we need to have another hour. You know, we're gonna petition KBBF to be 4 hours long.
Oh God. Okay. Yes.
All Friday nights. I will never have a life again. So what better to do than to come down on a Friday night to the radio station? Well, you can come down on a Saturday night tomorrow night because we have our harvest celebration.
I know, so great.
It's going to be awesome. There's going to be hugs given.
Really?
Yeah.
By you?
Maybe.
Sweet.
Yes. Anyhow, so we've been interviewing Lexi Adsit, trans activist, trans woman of color, Bay Area, trans health services at API, that's Asian Pacific Islander organization in San Francisco. She's spoken on a panel with Janet Mock, huge rock star. She's a rock star herself. But at that time, though, I want to ask a question. You were not with API, were you, at that time?
No, I was not. That was before I got hired. It was probably... God, when was the event? The event was in March? I'm going to say March. So I got asked in Fremont. So I want to give them a shout out because they do a lot of good work. And then I switched... after I graduated, I stopped doing unpaid labor for academic credit, and I started getting paid for my part-time work, and that was at Ella para TransLatinas, and that is a organization based in the Mission District of San Francisco. It's actually right on 16th and Mission, very accessible via BART. And their program is a drop-in space for TransLatinas late at night. So a lot of the girls down in the Mission District, don't have a lot of places to go that are especially safe for, trans folks. And so Ella works to provide that space. And then they also recently got funded when I joined, or when I was hired there, to start providing violence prevention services. So they have a case manager, as well as some really good programmatic staff who are doing some exciting projects with the community over there.
This is all fabulous stuff. All these resources exist.
I know.
I just, and that's just kind of a message for there's a lot of prospective trans people that are listening to this show. Statistically, there's a lot of prospective trans people listening to this show, and we've even had a couple people communicate to us through the website or through social media or whatnot, and be like, "Hey, what's up? How can I get going on this trans gravy train?" I don't know why it would be a gravy train.
Just go with it.
Yes.
It works.
And I mention this in just about every show, but I want to let everybody know, and Lexi here is just proving it for me that you are not alone, that there's resources out there. Yeah, nothing's going to be handed to you. No, it's not going to be easy, but you are not alone. There's so much out there that can at least give you information, at least move you forward. This is not the dark ages. It's not. It's before the dark times, before the empire. Before the emperor.
It's a new hope.
It's a new hope. Yes.
Hope.
Yeah. Or
absolutely. Though.
Yeah. So. Okay, so we've talked quite a bit about your activism work here. There's quite a bit more. I was creeping up on you on Facebook and going through all your things there. Yeah. It's doing a little nothing black hat, but all right, let's talk about you.
Oh, okay.
So you're a trans woman.
I am.
You're a TransLatina.
Yes. See.
Of color, TransLatina of color, or that's redundant.
I mean, it's a little redundant.
Yeah,
so, yeah, TransLatina woman.
Yeah.
Or trans woman of color.
Yeah. So, I'm gonna ask some questions about you here.
Let's do it.
And I'm gonna preface. We did start the show asking a whole bunch of questions that are inappropriate to ask trans people. I say that again now because I may ask some questions that might seem inappropriate, or I might contradict myself from the beginning of the show. But you have to understand, there's one of my favorite C words. It's context. Not
hey, okay, I wasn't sure where you were gonna go